First up, Michael Bruns.
Hey, Cade. Just want to go back to last year real quick. I mean, you pitched, I think, better than maybe what your numbers suggested last season. Obviously, had a great summer. I guess kind of how did that kind of first time through D1 baseball, even though it was kind of limited with the season being cut short, how did that kind of help you? I guess kind of improve as a pitcher and kind of get used to things.
Yeah, I mean, all the guys here are good that you're going to face. I think that first time through kind of let me see where I am at currently, and I think those few games I was able to learn a little bit more about myself and kind of the adjustments that I needed to make in order to become the pitcher I want to be, and I think I carried that over into the summer, and talking to the coaches about some of those things was able to work on that and correct it for this upcoming season.
I guess how are you a different pitcher starting this year than maybe you were last season?
Yeah, I mean, we added another pitch. We added a cutter. Kind of worked on getting all my pitches to be more consistent throughout each outing. And then as far as locating, being more, I guess, out of the zone, as much as to say I threw a lot of strikes last year, and unfortunately some of those pitches were more over the plate than we wanted to, and were probably the reason for some of the runs that I might have given up last year.
Kevin Suits.
Cade, do you have an idea in the rotation? I guess you guys as a pitching staff, how you guys will line up for this weekend series at Purdue?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of idea. I think right now we kind of all just are ready to kind of dip our toes in and get the ball rolling. I mean, we've all been waiting a long time to finally get out on that mound, and I think right now we're focusing on preparing for that first series.
Kevin Bland.
Cade, Coach Bolt mentioned Colby's injury is going to keep him out this year. I'm just curious, as a fellow pitcher, what kind of message do you have for a guy who has that kind of news? And then, of course, some other guys that you've seen maybe who can fill in at that back end of the bullpen for you guys this year.
Yeah, I mean, kind of one of the first things I think when I heard the news is I reached out to Colby and obviously made sure everything went well with kind of what he's got going on. And it's kind of one of those things, you feel for a guy, especially being next to him, watching him work all this time up, especially with how he's been rehabbing and all the hard work he's put in. So you kind of just have to stand by his side. I mean, Colby's kind of one of the guy. There's not really anybody, I guess, that can replace him. But we have guys that are going to be able to step up to that opportunity, and I think we're in a lot better situation than we might have been last year as far as guys who have come back better or newcomers that are kind of stepping up, and I think we're in a pretty good spot.
I just wanted to ask you quick too about just some of the COVID protocols you guys are going through this year, and maybe it's starting to seem normal, I guess, at this point. But what are some things that you guys are doing or putting in place for this season so you'll be able to stay healthy and play most of the year?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of wearing masks when we're around everybody. Obviously, when we're not home, that's the priority, is to try and stay as safe as possible with hand sanitizer, our masks, and getting tested. We have testing protocol 3 times a week, and making sure everybody's healthy and kind of staying within our bubbles, like Coach and Chance said, when we're out of town, and making sure we're not doing anything to affect ourselves and affect the team.
Cole Peterson.
Hey, kid. Obviously, a lot of fresh faces here for the Husker pitching staff. Will Bolt's touched on it, just the amount of depth you guys have at pitching this year. What are your thoughts on the pitching staff going into the year? What's impressed you? What have you noticed about it? And then how do you, as a fellow pitcher, react to them and help them through their first year as a Husker?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I think one of the things we struggled with last year was throwing strikes from the start to the end of the game, and I think that's one thing. If we broke down, which I think Coach Christie has kind of talked about where we were at last year as far as throwing first pitch strikes and overall strike percentage and winning those 1-1 counts. Our percentage of throwing strikes out of those are much higher this year, and obviously when you throw strikes, you're going to get a lot more outs because of that. Guys in this league aren't going to go chasing at balls. So I mean that's we're at a whole nother level as far as that, and then most of the young guys are already pretty mature coming in, and so it's just kind of guiding them, answering any questions they might have, and making sure they're on the right path.
All right, last one, Kevin Suits.
Cade, we talked to Coach Bolt about the practices you've had inside Memorial Stadium. As a pitching staff, what kind of work do you guys get done when you go inside the stadium? Or is there much? You just shag and fly balls?
Yeah, I mean, we'll play catch in there. We still pretty much run through the same practice we would in the Hawks Champion Center. We'll split up into group work on some picks and rundowns, bunt coverages, first and thirds, whatever. Just kind of making sure we're in base on all the signs as far as bunts and first and thirds may go.
All right, guys. Thanks for the time today. We'll have this again next Wednesday.